Hi everyone, my name is Anna Nesterova, or I prefer to call my last name Nesterov. I live in Canada, city of Calgary. I'm a graduate from MBT program, which is Masters of Biomedical Technology. The last 7 years I've been working in medical device industry, mostly in sales, and 5 of them on my own. So I'm self-employed, running my own business as a sales agency for medical device companies. And I also work as a consultant in an investor relations firm for health sciences and biotech sector. I started receiving more and more questions and requests from students, either current students or recent graduates, that were looking for more information about medical device industry. They wanted to know how I got my job and what exactly that I do, because I know that when you go and search for jobs, sometimes it's not clear what it is and how it works. And I start receiving more and more of such requests over time. And especially now when we live in time of absolute uncertainty due to the lockdown for pandemic, and of course the economy is reshaping, so I understand the challenges and maybe even high level of anxiety that some of the students can experience right now. So I decided to make the series of videos for you guys and tell you more about what I do, how did I get the job, what led me to start my own business, what are the benefits of working on your own or working for the company. What is it, medical device industry? Maybe you don't even know what it is. Or how to search for jobs in medical device industry. What kind of jobs are out there? Especially if you are in Canada and you're looking to find a job in Canada, I think this may be helpful for you, because I remember my time when I was a student, when I was absolutely uncertain what I'm gonna do, which direction I will go, and how will I find the job. I understand all the challenges. I understand how much time you need to spend on finding those people who can actually share that information. I had to go and talk to people, search for them and ask them, what do you do? How do you get there? What do I need to know? Or what do I need to do in order to get where you are? So I hope that this video will help you to understand a little bit more about medical device industry. And I hope this will evoke conversation. I would love this to be more of a two-way conversation. If you have any questions for me, I will be happy to answer them. And please let me know what's interesting to you, what would you like to see, and what kind of topics you'd like me to cover in my future videos. But right now, let's talk about medical device industry and how did I get where I am right now. What is it, medical device industry, and why you want to be part of it? In my opinion, if you are the person who would not like to be bored and who likes to learn on daily basis, medical device industry is for you for sure. That's how I felt when I was looking for jobs. Medical device industry is booming right now. We're living in the 21st century and medical device industry is growing like crazy. You can probably hear about it, maybe not see it on the social media that much, but if you really start digging a little bit deeper, you'll see how much development is happening around the world, everywhere. Each country, each region, they try to find something new, something better, because we are getting so much better with technology nowadays. We're getting so much more with all the materials we can use. So we can actually implant so many things into our own bodies, and that's the future. That's how we're gonna treat so many diseases in the future. I'm not gonna even go into all the, brain chips and stuff. Like, you probably heard about it, and it's absolutely amazing. So it's still time for you to consider this industry, because it's the future of the world. That's how I see it. So I'm grateful that I'm in. I'm learning, I'm seeing, I'm reading, and it's very fulfilling actually. You learn, you actually bring it to the people around you, you can educate your family, and on top of all of that, you can also help other people, patients. It's amazing. That's all I can say. Medical device industry is booming. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. The opportunities are absolutely crazy there. and it's something that we will not get out of anytime soon. You should definitely consider when you're searching for a job. Okay, so now let's talk about medical device industry in more of a details, like what kind of jobs you can get in this industry, okay? I have a little list here, cheat sheet right here. Okay, so main job criteria, not criteria, main job sections would be research and development, regulatory, safety and quality, marketing, sales, manufacturing, medical affairs, and of course there will be jobs for accountants and IT people, finance, legal, but those are a little bit different. We're not going to talk about those. We're gonna talk about research and development. That's where the product is being actually put together, developed by engineers, tested. Then we have regulatory and quality, which means that people working in that field, they are responsible for making sure that the quality of each device is actually up to standard. And it has to be up to standard of the company itself, it has to be up to standard of the industry, and it has to be up to standard of the regulatory body of a country the company is operating, or a country where company is selling this, or devices are being used on people. Then you have marketing and sales. They work hand by hand, because marketing people, they do the market research, they see who will be the potential candidates and end users, what kind of features they're looking for, what is interested to them, and they will deliver the message through the marketing materials. And salespeople, those are people who will bring the product to the end user, and they will educate end user on what it is, why it's better, what's so unique about it, what is it that makes it work better or the same with other companies' devices and products. And medical affairs, that's mostly job for people with PhDs, because they would work with doctors on either developing new technologies or having clinical trials with doctors, and they will make sure that the trials and certain research is being done up to a standard. It follows all the ethical rules. And of course the financial component, which people in medical affairs, they have to be very, very careful, because of course nothing is free in this world, and you need to pay, someone needs to pay for certain research and trials, but you never want to be in a position of conflict of interest. So that's just a brief overview of what it is. So if you're looking for jobs in medical device industry in Canada, you have to be mindful of the fact that 80% of medical devices sold in Canada are being imported. So it's only about 20% can be accounted for Canadian produced, manufactured, and developed devices. I'm not sure if good, bad news. I find that Canada can do much better, and we could probably build more, but I think we're getting there. But when it comes to your job search, be mindful that if you go and Google all the large multinational companies, you will find that they will all have offices in Canada, but none of them will have a research and development office, because they most likely will have them in the States or in Europe or in Asia, somewhere else. And they will only set up a subsidiary in Canada to bring product in, making sure that those products are up to Health Canada standards. And of course, they will monitor and sell and market it to a local market. But the job pool in those companies will be a little bit smaller than, let's say, the job pool in their head office, which can be, let's say, somewhere in the States. So be mindful of that. If you go and search for smaller Canadian companies, I think you will be able to find a whole spectrum. Maybe they will not have as many positions, but they will have a whole spectrum of jobs, starting from research and development all the way to the director roles, all the way to high-level VP roles. So that's actually a benefit of working with a Canadian company, because you can, even if you get in first, if you get your foot in the door, you can always progress and rise up the ladder very quickly. While with the large multinational companies, most likely you will get into one niche, As I mentioned before, if you're looking for jobs in Canada, most likely you will go for marketing, sales, maybe quality and regulatory jobs, because they need to be applied to Canadian market. Everything else, all the large head offices will be most likely outside of Canada. Unless it's a Canadian company and Canadian manufacturer, then for sure you will be able to find a job in R&D. You will be able to find a job in manufacturing. That was my rationale when I was looking for jobs, because I wanted to stay in Canada. I didn't care if I would stay in Calgary, Alberta, or I would move somewhere else. But where I was at the time in Calgary. I wanted to start my career in sales, and the reason why, because it's always needed. It's a dynamic position. Medical sales allows you to learn very quickly about all steps and all departments of the company, because as a salesperson, you interact to everyone. You actually interact to marketing, because you work along with them to bring product to the market, to your customers and end users. You will interact to regulatory people and quality people, because if there is a problem with a product, if something needs to be returned for certain complaint or quality matter, you talk to them and you learn the process, how it works. You also work with even R&D team, because when there's something new comes out, and you start to learn things, it's nice to talk to people who actually stand behind the product, so you have that chance as well. So when I analyzed all the opportunities as I listed, the manufacturing and marketing and sales and R&D and regulatory and quality control, I just looked through the list. I decided, okay, where I'm at right now, let's say in Alberta, Calgary, most likely I will not find companies with large head offices here, so I would have to move to either Toronto or maybe Montreal or Vancouver. Those are the three places where usually companies have their offices. But if I want to stay here, I don't have many options. But even from not many options that I had to choose one which would really give me the most for my time, most knowledge, most interaction with customers, because you want to talk to end users. And sales experience is absolutely crucial for any type of business in any industry. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a stigma around sales, around salespeople as we call them. And I will probably record a video around that topic as well, because I find that yes, the stigma is there. But when I talk to companies, when I talk to CEOs of different companies, they all see the benefit of salespeople. Nothing is moving without salespeople. There's no product, no matter how great it is, that will just, sell itself. You have to have a good team of salespeople who can actually present it to the end customer and actually can teach and educate and bring all the benefits to the end user. That's my view on this. And like I said, maybe I'll make another video about stigma around salespeople, because I think that's an important component. And even with my interactions with students, when they ask me, what do you do? I think they all think that I come to a doctor and I open up my jacket and say, hey, would you like to buy some of it? That's not the case. It's much more interesting, it's much more involving, it's much more fulfilling. And I'd like to tell you that, because this is what I tell to those students who ask me those questions. And I think they change their perspective, how they look at salespeople, how they look at the industry. So I hope this is what's going to happen here as well. Anyways, going back to where I was before. So I made that analysis and I learned that if I'm staying in Alberta and Calgary, most likely it will be a sales job. And then I started looking into, okay, am I working for a pharmaceutical company? Am I working for a biotech company or medical device company? And again, you have to know why medical device company, well, for me, it was like why it is better than pharmaceutical company. In order to do that, I had to go and talk to people from both industries. So I can speak from medical device company. As I told you, it is much faster growing and changing industry, and that was my point of interest. I wanted to learn more, and preferably I wanted to have more than just one product to present, more than just one product line to talk and present to my end users, the doctors and nurses and residents. So that was my idea. And what I started doing, I started just Googling companies that I know and looking for sales, top 10 medical device companies in the world. You will find that they will have Canadian divisions, and you will just apply on their websites. They usually would have postings there. I would also recommend to go on LinkedIn and check what they post on LinkedIn, because to me, LinkedIn is a great tool to communicate, because that way you can actually find the person maybe who is hiring in the company and maybe reach out to them directly and send them a personal message. I haven't done many of those. I've done a few, and I would say the majority of them were for the local, Canadian companies, not international companies, because I think bigger companies, they have more layers of HR people, of management people, and they all have to follow certain protocols. It's much easier when you're working with smaller medical device company. Then you can actually go and reach out directly to the director or maybe even CEO sometimes, and you will be surprised, they might actually reply to you. I would say that starting with sales position was the great start for my career. I am, again, internally grateful and happy for the opportunity I was given right after school, and medical sales job opened up a new venue for me. And from there, I went and started working on my own. I'm running my own agency right now, as I said in the beginning of the video. I love running my own business. I love meeting business people. I love helping my customers. I love bringing new technology to the market. That's my biggest passion. And I will be happy to share more information with you guys. I hope I will be able to inspire you. I hope I will be able to help you in your journey. If you are pondering about getting into the field, trying to get into industry, I hope I will give some advice or give you some perspective, and that will help you. And I wish you all the best in whatever you do right now. Thank you guys for watching. That's it for today. This is my first video. I would really appreciate your comments and feedback and maybe questions. Please ask me questions. Please tell me, what would you like to learn about medical device industry, about business? What is it there about job search? What to do when you recent graduate? What kind of skills you need to develop? Let me know, what would you like to hear? I would be more than happy to put it together and make more videos for you. But meanwhile, I will leave some of the comments and some of the information that I shared within my video under my video here, so you can still have some resources to go to. I will also leave a few names of companies that you can actually search online and start looking for a job in them. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. Grateful for the opportunity to share some of my experiences with you, and let's chat soon again. Bye.